I played 8 ranked games in Marathon, and I can safely say that this mode is brutal. Ranked in Marathon isn't your typical rank system you might be used to from other games. It's more of a buy-in system where you buy different holo tags that dictates how many rated points you can get within a single raid. Rated points is the system that helps you move up in ranks and ultimately at the end of the season give you the valuable rewards that everyone is after. You can buy holo tags up to your rank and below. For example, if you're gold, you can buy gold, silver and bronze holo tags. Each of them has a different point potential and different targets of value you need to extract with. There's going to be 2 different queues, a low stake one and a high stake one. The low stake one goes up to gold and the high stake one is from platinum all the way to pinnacle. Each has a minimum guarantee, with low stakes being at 3000 and the high one having a minimum guarantee of 10,000. Now onto my experience. From the first few games, it just felt brutal. Every raid felt like I was getting thrown straight into the deep end. No matter what loadout I brought in, the minimum gear ante is 3000, and I thought I'll go above and beyond to increase my chances of winning. 5k, 6k, even 8k loadout value, thinking that will increase my chances of winning and possibly help my team secure some points. But it didn't seem to make a difference. Fights were constant, third parties everywhere, and there was basically no breathing room. The moment you start shooting, it feels like the entire lobby collapses on you. Out of the 8 games I played, I think I won a couple of fights here and there. Most of the time, we were getting wiped early. And the thing is, I don't fancy myself to be the best player in the world, but I'm not that bad either that I would lose 8 games in a row. What made it even stranger is that it wasn't a team issue this time. Everyone had mics, people were trying to communicate, call out things, people were genuinely trying to win. So it wasn't your casual squad field lobby. If anything, the teams were way better, but despite that, we're still getting rolled every single fight. And a lot of the times, it genuinely felt we were running into pre-made squads. Teams were just more coordinated, more polished, just on a completely different level. And that's when it kind of clicked for me. I don't think the problem is just that ranked is hard. It's meant to be hard. I think it's how the system actually works. Feels like matchmaking here is not really skill-based like you would expect from other games. It's more around the holo tags you choose to buy. And I know it's early in the ranked system. It's just the first day. If anything, you would expect every single player would be starting from bronze and will start climbing up. So it will even out going forward. But I feel like it might be an issue later on, when a player that is in gold can buy a bronze holo tag and get into the bronze holo tag lobbies. I think in this game that might be an issue. I understand that if you're gold, it doesn't make much sense to buy a bronze holo tag, as your point potential is greatly reduced, but it creates that weird dynamic. I think the skill gap in this game can be massive. The top tier players with the mid tier players and the low tier players are gonna have massive discrepancies, and I don't know if the ranked system as it stands is there to account for that. I hope I'm missing something and they have thought of this, and it's not gonna be much of a problem later on when people settle in certain ranks. Now, to be fair, this might fix itself over time. As players progress, better players will naturally move into higher stake buy-ins and lobbies, and things should start to separate more cleanly. But right now, especially early on, it just doesn't feel like that at all. I feel like I'm playing with much better players, and it's not fun. So I think I'll be taking a break from the ranked mode and try to level up my character, do my faction upgrades in the meantime until I feel like ranked is in a good place for me to jump in and have some fun. Because ultimately that's why I'm playing the game. I want to have fun. I enjoy the grind, I enjoy the game, but I don't want to play something that frustrates me. One of my suggestions, and I mean, I don't know, without delving too much into how the system works, I think they need to have some skill-based element into this matchmaking, if that makes sense. The holo tag system sounds fun, it's a different spin, but I feel like you need some sort of skill-based element to it, because the value of your loadout doesn't dictate how good you are. You might save up a really good kit after farming for a few raids. You go in and you get wiped because your level is not there yet to be matching with those players. So I don't know, I feel like other than the value element, which seems to be dominant currently, there need to be some skill-based restrictions on top of that. One more thing I would like to see, and I don't know if the player base is big enough to allow for this, the squad fields should not be matched against pre-made teams. I feel like a pre-made team with coordination, it has a massive advantage when matching against 3 randoms. It makes it even more of an unfair fight. Not everyone has a full stack to play with, so there need to be some sort of balance on that end as well. I believe other games do that and they have success with it. And one more thing I would like to drop in, it's a little bit outside the ranked element, but it still grinds my gears when it happens, is I think there needs to be some way that you can disable crossplay. As far as I'm concerned, at the moment PC doesn't allow you to do that, and that could be valuable for PC players because, for example, I've been running into a lot of PlayStation players and they claim they cannot hear me. And I think it's due to the fact that they play from PlayStation while they're on a PSN chat. And when you're on a PSN chat, you cannot interact with, in-game chats. I had a similar issue back in the day when I was on PlayStation. It should take this away from the equation. If I want to play without crossplay and play with PC players, which is a higher chance, in my opinion, where I would match with people will be able to hear me in the first place and possibly use their mics. Because I think PC gamers, if you have a PC, if you spend all this money in a PC, you're more than likely to have a decent headset. To get back on track, right now, ranked doesn't feel competitive. It feels punishing and brutal. The system has potential and I can see what they're going for, but at its current state, early on in the season, it is unplayable. My ranked career on this game was short-lived and I will be retiring for the foreseeable future until it becomes a more balanced and more enjoyable experience. I'll be focusing on completing the rest of the faction upgrades I have left, complete some quests, and revisit the ranked mode here and there to see what the current state is at the time, and potentially jump back on it once it feels a little bit more balanced. And it probably sounds like I'm complaining about the game 24/7. Somebody could think that I hate the game, but this cannot be any further from the truth. I love the game, and I can't wait to grind every day. But my frustration lies with some of the barriers that the game puts in front the majority of the player base. Barriers like needing a pre-made squad to have the best chances of survival in a raid. Even further, needing 8 hours a day to farm and grind cryo to potentially get one of those vault keycards, to get one of those chips required to see the final boss. You need to interact with 6 vaults and you need to collect 6 chips. Those chips are not even guaranteed from what I understand. So how Bungie is expecting a casual gamer that doesn't play this game 8 hours a day to potentially even come close to beating the game? And I understand the game is meant to be difficult. It's not a casual experience like Arc Raiders, but the majority of the player base is not streamers. It's your average gamer that sits for a couple of hours after work to enjoy the game. I'm part of that group. I have a daytime job and in the afternoons I want to get in and play the game and have some fun. But there's too many entry barriers that make this experience a little bit tougher, which leaves a sour taste at the end of the day.